Good morning and welcome to Rome. I think you say buongiorno. I'm not sure. I didn't end up getting to Italy on my travels. I'm very sad. One day. Welcome to yoga. My name's Anita. We're going to be doing a hatha style practice today. If you've got a mat, roll it out. If you don't have a mat, just find a space that you can comfortably move around in without knocking into any furniture or children. Let's find a seat to begin with. Bring your hands onto your knees. You can bring your fingers to a mudra of choice. I like to bend my index finger down to my thumb and then place the hands on the knees in yana. Sitting nice and tall. Let's become aware of the base of the spine. Let's close the eyes down and start to bring some awareness to the breath. Noticing the cool air entering the nostrils and that very soft, gentle, warm air exiting the nostrils. So one of the challenges in your yoga practice is honing the mind to focus on your practice. Right now, we're cutting through the thoughts and bringing our awareness inward to our breath. It's an excellent preparation before you start to move into your asana, your postures. Great way to center the body. Start to breathe a little bit deeper. We're going to breathe in our full yogic breath now. You breathe down into the belly, then up into the rib cage, and then finally into the chest. Then as you exhale, the chest softens, the rib cage softens, the belly softens, the air exhales. Inhaling belly, ribs, chest. Keep the shoulders soft. Exhale, chest, ribs, and finally the belly. So imagining the breath is like a wave flowing in, through to the belly, the ribs, the chest, and then flowing back out. Chest, ribs, belly. Just allowing the breath to be quite natural. You don't want to bring in any tension to the breath. As soon as you feel that you need to breathe again the other way, then just allow your breath to happen organically. Naturally, the breath will start to lengthen. Still focusing on that flow from the belly up to the chest and then the chest down to the belly. Let's do one more. Keeping the shoulders soft. And then returning back to your natural breath. And maybe with that increase of breath, you'll notice energy in the form of pulsations in the body. One more breath. Let's blink the eyes open. And we're going to come to stand up. We're going to do a fun practice today called the Tibetan 5 rites. We'll begin with the 5 rites. So the first one is actually spinning. You're going to bring your arms out at shoulder height and you're going to spin in a clockwise direction. So just turning the body. You don't need to go too fast. Make sure that you're safe in your space when you turn. And we'll start to spin. So we're going to do 5 turns. That's 1. And 2. The idea is we're allowing ourselves to get a little bit dizzy. 3. Keep breathing. 4. And if you can manage it, do 1 more. 5. Bring your feet together, bring your hands together. Just allow that dizzy, gentle dizziness to subside. Relax the shoulders. 1 more breath. And that's our first one. Let's come to lie on the ground on our back. And we'll bring our feet up. So the Tibetan rites are supposed to be like a fountain of youth. I want you to curl your shoulder blades up off the ground. Inhale. Exhale as you drop the heels down. Lowering the legs as low as you can comfortably go. Inhale, lift them back up and drop the head back down. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, drop down. Feeling the belly muscles switching on. And exhale down. Number 3, lift. Pressing out through the heels. And lift. And drop. 4th one. And last one, lift, dropping through, lifting up, and dropping down. Let's place the feet down, just lift the bottom up, just release the back a little bit, drop the butt back down, and we're going to rock ourselves up to sit with the legs extended. So apparently if you do this every day, it shaves years off you. 5 exercises that you could do every day. If you're not doing a yoga practice, maybe try these 5. You're going to press your hands into the ground. Breathe in. Breathe out. Lift up to a reverse tabletop. So just be careful of your shoulders in this one. Only come up as high as your shoulders will allow. And then breathe in to bring your bottom back down between your hands. Exhale, lifting up for your second one. So let the shoulders be quite relaxed. Let the neck fall back. And number 3, exhale, press your hips up. Inhale, dropping back down. Number 4. Back down. And last one. Squeezing the glutes. And coming back down. Rolling over onto your knees for right number 4. Let's bring your knees about hip width apart. Taking your hands onto your lower back. This is sort of like camel pose, but we're not going to try and reach for our heels. Keep the tops of your feet flat on your mat. Squeeze your elbows together. Breathe in. Breathe out. Lift your chest to the ceiling and just do a little arch back. Inhale to come up and drop your chin to your chest. Slide your fingers down your legs as you arch back for number 2. Sliding back up to the lower back, drop your chin to your chest. Inhale. Exhale, number 3. Really lifting the chest to the ceiling. And 4. Last one. Lift the chest. And breathing in. Let's breathe out now. Press back into your child's pose. To give the back a nice stretch before we do our last right. Take a few breaths. Certainly got some warmth going into the body now. One more breath. Coming onto your hands and knees. placing the hands underneath the shoulders and the knees under the hips. We're going to pick up our toes and press back to downward facing dog. Breathe in, breathe out, drop your hips forward, bring your chest through your arms, take your tops of your feet down and come to a cobra or up dog. That's one, press back to downward facing dog. Inhale, exhale, come forward. Drop down the tops of the feet, lift up. Inhale, exhale, press down to downward facing dog. Number 3. Press back. 2 more. Exhaling as you do your little back bend. Inhale and exhale back to downward facing dog, and we've got 1 more. And pressing back. Just holding here, take a few more breaths. Then drop to your knees. And just turn your fingers so that they're pointing towards your knees, pressing down into the wrists. Lean back a little if you can. So we're getting a stretch for the wrist. Try to keep the elbows straight. Often when you're quite tight through your forearms, all those extensors that run up the arm, your elbows want to stay bent. So we're just trying to get them straight and leaning back. Let's take the hands now, point the fingers towards your knees, and we're rotating the wrists forward. You're going to lean back. Seeing if we can sit back towards the heels again, trying to get those elbows straight. Grabbing hold of the wrist quite strongly around the little creases. Do a few circles here just to release that wrist off. If you've been doing lots of the yoga practices with Roz and Grant and Avril and me, you might be finding that your wrists are having to hold your weight a bit more than usual. Just giving that joint a little release. Coming back onto the hands and knees, seeing how those wrists feel now. We're going to breathe in, breathe out. Let's come to cat pose. Pull the belly in towards your spine, arching the back up to the ceiling. Then inhale, drop the back down, lift your tail and your head. Exhaling, pulling the belly in. Inhaling to drop down. Exhale, arching up. Always try to do a few cat-cows in all of my yoga practices. So good for your back. And then we're going to thread the needle. Lifting up the right arm, breathing in, reaching the arm up to the ceiling. Then breathe out. I'm just going to turn myself, dropping your shoulder towards the ground, turning the head, getting a little twist in the torso. Let's breathe in, lift up. Breathe out to drop. 2 more. And last one, reach and drop. Taking the hand underneath the shoulder, breathing in, reaching up your left arm. Breathing out, dropping the shoulder down. Lifting up. Just becoming aware of the spine, the hips. Just trying to keep them nice and straight. Then just dropping down. And one more. All right, we're going to do a bit more of a deeper shoulder stretch now. I want you to bring your right arm and take it across the ground, nice and close to your knees. And then your left arm, so the back of your hand is on the yoga mat, and your left arm is going to go in the other direction. So we're trying to bring the arms to cross as much as possible. Then lean forward, let your hips come up off your heels. And drop. See if you can wriggle your fingers out a little bit further. So it'll be more intense for the back of the shoulder of that top arm. We're going to take 5 deep breaths here. As you inhale, you'll really feel the back of that shoulder open up. Being really mindful and careful, of course, if you have any issues with your shoulders. Only going as deep as what your body allows. 4 more breaths. It's actually the breath that really gets the release in this posture. 3 more. And 2. Last one. Dropping your hips back towards your heels, taking the arms out. And I want you to bring your arms into cactus. So lying down on your mat now. Bringing your left arm out so that it's at a 90-degree angle. Elbow is bent. You're going to bring your other arm on a 90-degree angle, but your palm is going to be facing onto your mat. And then you're going to twist up onto your left hip. Lift your right leg, bend the knee, drop your head onto the ground, and just feel that stretch come through the front of the shoulder now. Now, if it's enough just to be lying on your side, bend your knees a little bit and just keep your leg down. If you want to go deeper, that's when you lift your leg up. Just let that toe dangle. I'm quite tight through my shoulders, so I'm just going to let my leg stack on top of the other, bending the knees and just really breathing into the front of the shoulder now. 1 more breath. And rocking onto the belly, bringing your hand up, pressing back onto the knees. And we're going to bring the left arm along the ground, closest to the legs. Right arm in front, wiggle the back of the hands as far away as you can, what works. Then rock forward and bring your forehead onto the ground. Now, if it is, I should have said this on the first side, you can use a pillow for your head if you can't quite get your head down. That's always an option if you've got a pillow nearby. 5 breaths here. So finding as we're sitting at our desks at home, maybe, or at work, sitting for long periods of time, we get quite tight through our shoulders and our neck. This helps to release that. 3 more breaths. Deep inhales and exhales. Feeling how it really opens up on that inhale. And that back of that shoulder. One more breath. And then pressing back towards the heels. Unravel the arms. We're going to lie back on our belly. This time bringing the right arm out into cactus. We're going to rock onto the right hip. Just let the head drop down, supporting yourself with the left hand. Elbow bent, left palm is on the ground. And I'm even tighter through this shoulder and chest. Certainly my chest muscles. It's really great to make observations about your body too. Seeing where you have these imbalances, working towards finding balance. So if you want to, you can lift that leg up to encourage that stretch a little more. But I'm just going to keep my knee down and really breathe into that front of the shoulder. Just taking a few more breaths. Let's see what's happened to the music. One more breath. And then coming up, pressing back to your knees. Keeping the hips underneath the knees, you're going to walk your arms forward and drop your chest towards the ground. Now, if you have a block or even a foam roller, you can put your hands on top of it, or pillow will do. Just giving you that little extra lift will open up the front of the shoulder even more. So you can either let your chest or your chin, drop onto the ground, or just let your forehead again rest onto the ground. Taking some deep breaths here. Three more. And releasing, bringing the hands back towards you. We're going to cross the right leg over the left. And then sit the heel back. So allow this left foot to fall over to the side as we sit back. Walking the feet out. Just wriggle myself forward a little bit. Reaching forward as we press back into the heel, into the glutes. Getting a nice little stretch through the glute and hip area. Sometimes you may feel other tight areas of your body that need releasing. Bring your hands back, push your weight forward, land your knee down and slide your leg out behind you. So left leg is now sliding out into a modified pigeon. So it's modified because we're just allowing that heel to be tucked in towards your groin. This is definitely the most accessible hip stretch, the pigeon. Bit of a favourite of mine, reach your arms forward. Just rocking through the hips. We'll just keep this quite dynamic. Just trying to slide those hips down a little deeper. Keep the movement going. Stretching the fingers forward a little more. And walking the hands back up, lifting up onto your knee We're going to cross the left leg now over the right. Sitting back. And start to walk the legs out. Reaching the hands forward. Dropping the head down. Reaching through, getting that nice stretch through the hips again. It's quite funny. I have a teenage son and he tried to straighten his legs last night and he said, "Mum, I can't straighten my legs." Because he sits and plays games for such a long period of time. So we really do work hard to make our bodies what they are. When you lock your body into a bent knee, your hamstrings are just locked in that short position. I'm quite passionate about making that a big awareness for people. All right, let's bring the hands back, push the weight forward, and we're going to slide the right leg back now. Come into our pigeon on the left side. It's moving from side to side. As you gently slide down, it should feel good. Reaching the arms forward. It's like you're massaging yourself deeper. Get that release. And now walking the hands back up. Pressing the weight back onto the knees. And come to lie down on your belly. Extending your arms out in front of you, your legs out behind. Get a nice long stretch through the body. We're just going to lift up the legs. One leg at a time, keeping the arms outstretched. So let's breathe in, breathe out, lifting up the right leg. Breathing in to drop. Breathing out to lift the left. Really pressing the hips into the ground, squeezing the glute. In and out, exhaling. Try to keep both legs really straight and engaged. Straight knee, glute is working hard. The muscles in the erector spinae, lower back. And one more lift. And then just let the legs rest. I want you to turn your hands so that your thumbs are pointing up to the ceiling. Drop the head down. Try to keep the arms really straight and right next to the sides of your head. So I don't want you to lift your head up higher than your arms. Arms are going to stay right in beside your head. Breathe in, breathe out, lifting up your upper body. It's going to be a little bit harder with the arms extended out, the thumbs up. Breathing in and breathing out to lift. Breathing in to come down. Let's do 4 more. And 3. Try not to bend the elbows. And 2. And last 1. Releasing down. Take your hands underneath your shoulders. Press back into child's pose just to get a nice stretch. 2 breaths. And then coming down, let your belly come back onto the ground. Bringing your hands out into a V and your legs coming wide. We're going to do some starfish poses, breathing in, breathing out to lift up arms and legs now. Squeezing the glutes, hold, bringing your legs and your arms together. Breathe in, breathe out, extend, and then breathe in to drop back down. Taking a few breaths. This time, on your next inhale, lift up. Exhale, arms and legs together. Inhale, out, lift up higher. Exhale, drop back down. We're going to do 3 more. Taking a breath. Inhale, lift. Exhale, pull together. Inhale, lift higher if you can, and then drop down. Take a breath. Inhale, lift. Squeeze the glutes. Keep the arms and legs straight as you pull together. Lifting out, dropping down. I think we've got 1 more. All right, last one this time. Inhale, a little bit different. Exhale, pull in. Inhale, out, stay here. Pull in, exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Last one. Inhale, lift up and drop down. Take your right hand on top of your left. Bend your elbow. Bend up your right knee. Drop your cheek onto your arm, onto your hands, into flapping fish. So it's a lovely restorative pose. I can't get my microphone in the right place. Just rest in your cheek and just let your whole body relax. Taking 3 breaths here in your flapping fish. One more breath. And releasing your knee down. Back is nice and warm now. Let's stretch out the quad. Grabbing hold of your right foot, pulling your heel towards your butt, and now press your hip into the ground. Right hip. Make sure that the knee isn't starting to splay out to the side. Keep the knee nice and close. Pull the heel in a little bit closer. Press the hip down and release the foot. Switch over, grabbing hold of the other foot. Pull the heel in nice and close. Drive the hip into the ground. Really feel that opening through your quad. And release all the way down. Just reaching behind, linking your fingers, lifting the chest, seeing if you can straighten the arms, straighten the legs, lifting up, activating the back again, dropping down. Let's do 2 more. Taking a cleansing breath. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, drop down. Take a cleansing breath. All this back bending really brings and generates a lot of heat. Inhale, lift. Exhale, drop. Hands come back under the shoulders, pressing back to your child's pose once more, and we're going to come forward into bow pose. Now that we're ready for it, quads have been stretched, back is definitely warm. One more breath. lying back onto your belly. Reaching behind, grabbing hold of the ankles. Try to keep the knees together. I want you to flex your feet and then start to draw your feet away, which is going to open your chest up off the ground. Then start to lift the knees. You can point the toes or keep them flexed if you want to. The legs are now lifting. You're still pulling your arms into your legs and your legs into your arms. One more breath. And exhale, drop down. Taking your left hand on top of your right. Turning your cheek to the side. And lifting up the knee. Just completely relax into your flapping fish. You'll probably feel your heart is beating quite strongly in your chest. That's back bends for you. It's connecting with that energy. Taking some deep breaths, allowing the body to recover. One more breath. And then slide the knee down. Walk the hands back. Lift up. Take the legs wide. Sitting up tall. Now you can sit on a pillow. That's going to help you to stay nice and straight in your back. Taking the fingers behind you, it's behind your hips. Lift your chest up. Keep your feet flexed if that feels good. Just really connecting with the inside of the legs here. To begin with, if you're finding that you're not able to stay straight in your back, bend your knees or wiggle them a little closer in. Then take the hands in front. Breathe in, breathe out, start to walk your hands forward. Drop your chin to your chest. Just giving the back a nice little stretch in the opposite direction. At the same time, nailing those adductors. Two more breaths now. Try to sink a little deeper on your exhale. And last breath. Whoops, that was a little bit. Then inhale, walk the hands in towards your center. Take the hands behind the back, link the fingers. Straighten out the arms. Let's see if we can come forward again, this time with the arms behind us. Take an inhale, exhale, take your head over towards your right leg. Now it's okay if your knees are a little bit bent. One more breath. Inhale to center. Exhale, let's come over to the left side. One more breath. Inhale to center. Breathe in, release your hands down. Breathe out, reach your arms all the way forward now, dropping as deep as you can. I'm just going to switch this song. Try reaching your arms out to the side. 3 breaths. One more. Walking the hands in. Bringing your feet together into Baddha Konasana, butterfly. Let's do a few little bounces here, bringing your awareness to that groin point. Even though the knees are doing all the bouncing, trying to bring your awareness to the knees, let's take it down to where we're trying to open in the groin. Breathe in, lift your knees up. Breathe out, press down into your knees, lean forward. Breathe in to lift. Breathe out to press. In to lift. Out to press. And now walk your bottom back to make your diamond a little bigger. Slide your hands underneath your lower legs. Now, if this isn't great for your back, then just keep your hands on top, and we're going to pull ourselves towards our feet. So when we've got our arms underneath, you'll feel a bit more of a lock where you can actually leverage into the legs, pulling yourself towards your feet. Being gentle with your back, of course. Really getting into the lower back and the top section of the hip. Just a few more breaths here. Each exhale, we're just trying to drop a little deeper, encouraging a little further. And then unhook your arms. Walk your bottom in a little bit closer, or feet in. See if we can get ourselves so the knees are coming a little bit further down after we concentrated on trying to get deep. Then cross the legs. Taking the right hand over the left knee. Breathe in, lift tall. Breathe out and turn, rotate the head, rotate through the back. Torso twisting around the spine, looking over the shoulder. Exhale. Inhale to center. Taking the left hand to the right knee, lifting tall. Inhale. Exhale, twisting, looking over the shoulder. Next inhale, bring yourself back to center. Exhale, bring your right ear to your right shoulder. Take your right hand behind your back and just let that shoulder drop down a little more. Keep your right hand there. Breathe into center. Then breathe out to drop your left ear to your left shoulder. Two more breaths. Breathe your head back to center. Release your arm down. Breathe in, breathe out. Take your ear back to your right shoulder. Take your left hand behind this time. Two more breaths. Head comes to center, and just to finish off, coming over to the left side, very gently stretching out the right side once more. Last breath, bring your head back up, release the arm. Take a deep breath in, bring your hands above your head, let your fingers touch. Draw your hands down your midline. Let your thumbs rest at your heart center. Sitting tall. Taking a few breaths. And then bowing. Namaste. Thanks everyone.